Hey there, horror movie tea sippers.
The following podcast episode will contain spoilers for the movie we are about to review. If you have not seen the movie and do not wish to have anything ruined prematurely, please do not continue to watch or listen until you have seen the movie.
And welcome to the Horror Movie Tea Podcast. Today we are covering the Pope's Exorcist. But before we go into the review, let's grab our cups and talk about tea.
We didn't move the thing again.
I saw that, sadly. It's okay. We're doing a repeat. It helps me post-editing on, if I need to, yeah, it helps. But I am drinking the Republic of Tea Beauty Brain Tea. It's got orange peel, lemon, white hibiscus, ginkgo, rose hips, bamboo, lion's mane, kiwi, safflower, and blue spirulina.
And I am drinking Republic of Tea's Daily Beauty. It's blueberry lavender tea, and it's got blue butterfly pea flower and blueberry, hibiscus, rosehip, bamboo, and schizandra berry.
And thank you to the Republic of Tea for allowing us to continue to do what we love. And for our tea sippers out there, brew yourself a cup of tea, sit back, relax, and we hope you enjoy the review. So, the Pope's Exorcist. This well-renowned exorcist comes to an old abbey to help this family whose son is possessed. The priest soon learns, though, that this demon is more powerful than any demon he's encountered before. So, for entertainment, I'm just so proud, everyone, that I've been doing such a good job on the summaries. This is all bloop out of my head. But anyways, so for entertainment, I have a feeling I might have enjoyed this movie a little bit more than you, just hearing your passing comments about this movie before. But so this is the second time I've watched this movie, and I give it a 7.25. I like that the priest himself, it's Russell Crowe.
Yes,
He
does do a good job.
He does a really good job. Mm-hmm. And he brings a lot of good personality to the character.
He does.
It's one of those priests that his methods are kind of unconventional, but you just kind of have to go with it. You learn that...
but he's also more relatable.
Yes, he is definitely more relatable.
Yes.
He's not I'm holier than thou person.
He's more realistic of a person.
Yeah. But it's you learn that in a lot of his exorcists, he isn't actually performing to exorcise a demon. It's because people are wanting either... he essentially...
It's a placebo.
Yes, it's a placebo effect.
It's theater.
Yes, it's theater. But yeah, I really like that he is kind of a little bit of an oddball, even in the Catholic Church, and but he kind of is very much doing his own, going about it his own way, but still has the best of intentions. And I do like that he does try and verify what the family has done beforehand to confirm if it's actually a demon or not. And then he does his own test. So it's not just take everyone at their word. He actually is going through.
He does his due diligence.
Yes, because he understands how dangerous it is.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's just theater,
and he knows that most of the time it's not necessary.
Yeah.
There's a very, very, very remote chance that it's actually a demon.
But I kind of getting into the critiques of this movie. I will say that this movie is kind of weird because it feels fast-paced and slow-paced all at the same time. Where it's the movie in the stretch of time, it feels slow, but when you actually pay attention to the sequence of events and how quickly it moves on to the next phase, it actually happens very quickly. So it's this really weird pacing of the film. Because I will say the first time I watched it, I actually fell asleep. And this time I tried not to. But yeah, it's like, that's one thing that I noticed is that it kind of feels like it drags a little bit. And that does kind of take away from the entertainment of the film. But it's odd because I don't know why it feels so slow if the sequence of events... Actually, I think my theory is the fact that it kind of starts up so quickly that you don't really have... that they take... It doesn't have a whole lot of buildup, but then whenever it does build up, they kind of like stay at that buildup because it's kind of like a big reveal about like 2/3 through the movie, but then you still have so much of the movie left. I don't know. It is one of those movies where it feels like it drags out a bit, and I did think it was interesting their twist and reasoning for the atrocities that were done by the Spanish Inquisition.
Yes. That was a cool little tidbit.
Yeah, that was interesting how it was this powerful demon that had possessed the main contributor, or like the person that played the biggest role in the Spanish Inquisition. And this demon is going down the line trying to find and possess all of these powerful exorcists. I did think that the chemistry between the two priests was fun because it's like you have the one priest that is a little bit more your traditional, like holier than that. Well, I mean, he's more down to earth. He's
definitely a young priest.
Yeah, he's I guess green or whatever to like the field. And then you have this like older priest that has been through a lot. And so he sees the world in a different way than this younger priest does.
And he also seems a bit more relaxed about things. Like the other one's very much, I need to make a good impression. I need to do things correctly and all, but I don't know quite what I'm doing here. Yeah. So I need someone more experienced. And the experienced guy shows up and he's like, hey, you want some whiskey?
Yeah.
Oh, just, dry, dusty air. I need it for my throat. When really he's just like, I'm gonna need this.
Yeah. And kind of going back to some more critiques, like the possession and the way that they did the demon itself was like a very typical like possession movie. There wasn't anything that I felt like they brought to the table on that part, but they did have a few dumb moments. I was like, really? Like the sister crawling like on the ceiling and stuff like that. Like, who finds that scary? I'm sorry. Like,
we've seen it 1,000 times before already.
Yeah, like whenever the original like Exorcist movie had like her crawl down the stairs, yeah, that was kind of creepy because it's someone crawling in a weird way down the stairs, but up the wall, on the ceiling, like come on. Like, and so many movies do that.
And it was a normal crawl.
Yeah, it's just it wasn't scary at all. Big whoop. Yeah, and if anything, it took me away from the movie.
Yeah.
Also, like some of the effects that they chose were really dumb, like having like the extra long jaw whenever like the Russell Crowe character was possessed.
Well, it did it with the kid too.
Yeah, it's just, why the extra long jaw? Like, that's not scary. It's like, ooh, it's supernatural, but just because it's supernatural, I mean, how is that scary? I don't understand. I don't understand that at all. Also, the exploding girl, that I honestly laughed out loud. She exploded. like that's like slapstick comedy. That's not scary. Like, no. Like the way she explodes and like the whole context of it, because it's like with the demon being destroyed and then it's like, oh, she explodes. Obviously people exploding isn't always comedic.
No, typically not.
But actually, in this, typically not. But in this particular context, it was dumb.
Yeah.
And the one thing that I did like though is I like the cool, like how they had the demon go back to hell.
Yeah.
That was interesting.
That was cool. Yeah. That was a nice effect.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's like they did have some like really interesting effects, but there were quite a few ones that I was like, wow.
I mean, I get why they had her explode and all. They couldn't just have her disappear or go.
Well, it's like she was covered in blood, so what if she kind of like melted into like
That
just
probably
blood?
would have been better, but they had to do something. They
And,
couldn't just
saturated
like
him in it. Like,
yeah. They couldn't just have her not be there anymore.
Well, yeah, but like have her like
Yeah.
melting, but
Yeah.
then as she's melting, it's like maybe a little bit of gore, but like the blood like falling on the priest. Like,
yeah,
that would be
that would have been
cool.
good. Mhm.
Yeah, but just like like literally,
Yeah.
they had her
Yeah.
explode. Why? Just some of these movies, I'm like,
Yeah, some of the choices just.
yeah, I'm like, were they trying to be scary? Because it seemed like they were trying to be scary.
That's what you went with, really?
Yeah, yeah. Why? It's like Mr. Director. Did you find it scary? Because did you take a polling? But anyways, yeah, that's what I got for the movie. It's like overall, I personally do really enjoy the movie, and this is my second time watching it, and it probably won't be my last. But it is. There are better movies out there. Really, I enjoy the movie so much because Russell Crowe is just so solid as the Exorcist, and
Oh yeah, he was the best part about the movie for
Yeah.
sure, 100%.
and like the seamless between like the English and Italian.
Yes.
Like that was
God, how
really
long
interesting.
did it take him?
Yeah, like I mean, obviously I'm not Italian, so I don't know,
Yeah.
but it's like it sounded really seamless.
And his Latin.
yeah, and Latin. Yeah. Yeah. Like
Damn, dude.
yeah, like this role couldn't have been easy as far as like the dialect.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
But he did it really, really well, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
That being said, I give it a 7. I would have given it higher because of him, but because of the storyline, and we're doing the ratings on the movie as a whole,
Yes.
I couldn't really give it higher than that. It is a decent movie. It is. But it feels like even with Russell Crowe's awesome performance,
He couldn't carry it
it's
through.
kind of a background movie.
Yeah.
Not because it's not good or it's just kind of a meh plot or anything. It was decent. And I liked the little tidbit about the Spanish Inquisition being because of a demon. That was interesting. And the banter between them was really good.
Yeah.
But because it's like every other demon possession movie we've ever seen.
Yes.
It's same stuff, different location, different people.
Yeah, like they brought a few things like the Spanish Inquisition thing
Yeah.
to the table that was new, but everything else is just like copy paste.
It really was.
Yeah.
A demon is trapped at a supposed to be holy site. There's a kid that gets possessed because of a past trauma. The kid is speaking in different voices that shouldn't be his own, saying things that he shouldn't be able to or shouldn't know or things like that. There's scratches appearing on the kid, writing appearing on the kid, kids climbing up a wall, like telekinesis.
Being all gruesome and nasty to like
Yeah,
the parent and
it's-
sister and
And Exorcist, like, it's same stuff. Mouth extending.
yeah. Same song and dance.
It really is. Levitation. There was levitation as well. The bone cracking thing, like, that made no sense whatsoever. We'll get to that again in realism, but like they tried to put some things in there for effect, but it really didn't add anything, and it, if anything, it just made it seem more and more like status quo. Like, I was sitting here like, he's doing so well, but give him a good plot, please.
Yeah.
Because it's the same thing over and over. I could name at least 5 different movies that are the same exact thing. I just want something different.
Yeah.
Just want something a little different. Just a little bit, please. And you're right. It does ramp up really quickly with the possession that they don't really have much to go from there. Like, they already hit a 10. Where do you go from here?
Yeah. And then with the Spanish Inquisition, it goes up to 11, but then it, like, stays there for the rest of the movie.
Yeah, pretty much. It's about the same. So, yeah. I mean...
And they had a lot of time to work with. Like, I feel like
really
they could have had
did.
it build up more, been more creative with the demon and the possession. Yeah.
Yeah. So, all in all, I'm pretty sure that's what messed with the pacing.
Yeah.
Was that they ramped it up too far too fast.
100% agree. And the fact that they're like, I feel like they ran out of ideas at that point, and then that's why they kind of like copied and pasted. It's like they had a really good idea with the Spanish Inquisition stuff, but they didn't really know how to build up to it.
Yeah.
And so they kind of like picked from the same old like story. Which sucks because I feel like if they had it solid from the beginning and led up to the Spanish Inquisition, this would actually, like...
Oh, that would have nailed it.
It would have been an amazing demon possession movie.
Yeah.
Would have been really, really
good. For
good.
sure.
Like, it had so much potential.
And the cast was so good.
Yeah, the cast was really good.
The Pope dude was really good, too.
Yeah. Yeah.
But...
And then with the family, the sister was okay, but...
Yeah.
But the mom, like she was a really good actress.
Oh, and another thing with demon possession movies, they got rid of the kid's eyebrows and like bulked up the brow bone. Like in every other demon movie ever. That's not scary either. Just saying.
Yeah.
But Russell Crowe can only do so much.
Yeah.
Guy's a treasure, but he can only do so much. That's what I got for entertainment. I got a whole lot more for realism, so let's get to it.
Yeah, I'll be interested in realism because
whole lot more.
So I gave it a 3. But I feel like I said, the movie does drag, so it's kind of like one of those things where it's like there's details start to fade in the background. So maybe I missed some stuff, but I know like this movie does take place in the late 80s. I think it's 87. And you definitely, they do call to that vibe because the mom comments on the daughter's outfit being too like revealing, and she's wearing like short shorts because she's like, oh, we're gonna have construction workers.
We're not in America anymore.
At this place that we'll be living at. And so she kind of comments to that, which is interesting because I feel like Europe, at least in American culture, Europe tends to be thought of as like, oh, they're more like free with their bodies and stuff. So I don't know.
Maybe she thought because it's a new place, they don't know how things are.
That or she didn't want like her daughter to potentially like call attention to herself, which I mean is bullshit that she said, but 80s. So I thought that was interesting that they were kind of like calling to that time. The mom's reaction finding that the doctor was essentially no help for the son, I thought was really good and realistic. I mean, how heartbreaking and frustrating would it be to be like, you know, my son is going through all of this and you literally can't do anything. Like you're giving him as like antipsychotics or something like that.
No, it was a sedative.
Or a sedative.
They sent them home with a sedative. If he gets too out of control, then use this on him, basically.
Yeah, it's like that.
Everything's fine otherwise.
Yeah, it's like that's not a solution. But I can't imagine.
Even refer her to a psychiatrist.
Yeah, but I mean 80s, to be fair.
Still.
But yeah.
I mean, the kid scratched his own face to the point that it bled.
Yeah. Yeah.
There would be some mental talks.
Yeah, you would hope so. But yeah.
Anyway.
Also, whenever they're showing the profile of the son to the priest, how did they get all of those records on the son? Like, they had quite a thorough, like, folder of him. Like,
fax machine, I guess.
well, I mean, but getting that information to begin with.
Yeah.
Like, how much digging could they have legally done? Like,
yeah, unless the mom signed some kind of forms to share the medical information.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because I'm pretty sure HIPAA was a thing even then.
Yes, it was definitely. But like going kind of back to the more realistic sense, Father Gabriel not forgiving himself with what happened to the woman.
Rosaria.
Yeah. I thought that was really good. And it's like I do enjoy the fact that it's like it's a seasoned priest, but he also has like sins and he's carrying a burden. So I thought that really added to his character and expanded on his character. Also with the other priest, like I like the fact that they called that neither one of these priests are perfect. They have skeletons in their closet.
They're human.
Yes. But it's like kind of moving past that so that way you can be able to like help the family. And then another thing that was more realistic is Henry the son not talking at all after the accident with the father. That's another reason why the mother should have thought of therapy first before calling some priests. Because, huge trauma to be able to see your father like that. He
definitely should have been seeing someone before then anyway.
Yes.
And even if he's not talking, there are other ways of communication.
Yes.
He was playing with the sister before. That's why the demon was mocking the knock. So.
Yeah. Yeah. I did find it also realistic, like the politics of the Catholic Church and them saying, oh, we don't really need an exorcist anymore. And kind of like in the beginning scene, of that, of course, that like seemed to flip a little bit with the whole like Abbey thing. But I can see, and the not conflict, so to say, but the difference in viewpoints of like the older priests versus like the younger priests that hadn't experienced the same thing as the older priests. And they do mention at one point it's because the older priests have essentially cleaned up the house a lot. They haven't encountered a whole lot of demons because of all of the like things that they've done. So I thought that was interesting. And I feel like that's very true to like modern culture, to where it's like we get so used to something being a certain way, we forget that the world used to be very different in other ways. And it's like we tend to kind of like forget our history or forget those experiences, and that can kind of cause things to like creep back to where they used to be. But
it's definitely a mixed bag, because I get where both sides were coming from. The younger priests were trying to keep the church relevant.
Yes.
And trying to, because public opinion changes and theology changes.
Yep.
And they're trying to adapt to the world of today.
Yeah.
And it feels like a lot of the things in the church were archaic, like exorcisms.
Yeah.
But they didn't have that experience of, well, we kind of still need that, at least in this world, the storyline. So they didn't have all of the information. So they were trying to move too far too fast without any thought of what was really needed.
Yeah, and I feel like them showing both sides, it wasn't necessarily them bashing the younger like generation of priests. It's just like, here's their side, and just
like,
you're like,
you simple child.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you're kind of like an observer of that situation. But yeah, that's what I got for realism.
Yeah. So sweet.
Uh-oh.
So I give it a 1.5.
Oh.
Again, Russell Crowe can only do so much. We'll start at the very beginning. Apparently displays all signs of possession equals talking common movie phrases in English. Because that's really all that one random guy in the very beginning was doing.
Well, I picked up that was the guy that wasn't actually truly possessed.
Exactly. But when he walked in and asked the other priest that was already there,
oh, gotcha.
What's the situation? He's like, he's displaying all signs of possession. And he's like, what are the signs of possession? It's like, he's speaking in English. That's it. And a lot of the phrases that the guy says when he does go in there and talk to him are common movie phrases for demon possession movies in English. So,
like, roll the dice. What it's gonna
so
be.
I did appreciate that Russell Crowe was like, does the family own a TV?
Yeah.
Like, he knew. But also at the same time, like, really, don't say all signs of possession if there's only one sign.
I know. Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, he looked a little sickly and was tied to the bed, but that could also just be a sign of a mental break. So, I mean,
yeah.
Or just a night gone wrong. Or right. Depending on the day. But, also, if the door with the Vatican seal at the Abbey that was covered by a wall that they were renovating and all in the basement area, if it was sealed to keep the demon sealed in, why does it crack randomly? Because none of the construction work was actually touching it or dealing with it at all. And if it is the demon, why now?
True.
And why the kid and not one of the countless construction workers?
Yeah. Yeah, like one of the first people, or one of the closest people to, like, the hole or whatever.
Yeah. Also, how did the guy in the cage, the dead priest guy in the cage?
Yeah, that had the key.
Yeah, supposedly swallow that key. Thing was spiky as F.
Wouldn't have been comfortable.
I'm calling bullshit. Thing was huge, too. Nope. Bull. Amy's neck would 100% be broken. The sister.
Yeah, because it's like, because they start to, like, turn her head, and it gets pretty far.
Yeah.
And then she's like, I'm fine.
Yeah, this is fine. Also super wishy-washy on whether or not she is possessed. It was just when it was convenient, apparently.
Yeah.
Beautiful, if morbid, imagery of the blood around Rosaria and Gabriel. The blood on the ground looked like wings, like she was a fallen angel.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful imagery. I feel like not quite as accurate as how blood would do on the stones like that, but beautiful image. Why are the mom and sister allowed into the room when they try to do the exorcism on the boy? They hadn't been cleansed or trained. They're essentially liabilities.
Yeah. Because they even demonstrated, it's a fake exorcism, but it's like they brought in a pig into the room to, like, have the demon, like, possess. So it's like, if he's doing the same theatrics, but on an actual demon, it's like they would want people, the least amount of people in there as possible, to give the demon less, like, transfer room.
Yeah. Again, liabilities. Yeah. Why the bone cracking sounds? When the sister, like, gets down on all fours and all? Like, for effect? Because it didn't make sense. Her arms and legs didn't move into positions that they couldn't have otherwise. So...
Speak for yourself. I'm not that flexible.
And then it would just be snap, crackle, pops of, your joints just lightly popping like we do when we get out of bed. Not like bones cracking and sinews like squelching. Like, no, you didn't need those effects. It was just for movie effects, and it was dumb. It took me out of the movie-going experience, honestly. Also, if it can possess multiple people at once, why would it let the kids go once it had Father Amorth? Because it could have just taken him too.
True. I kind of thought of it as like whoever the demon is possessing determines like how much strength the demon has to use to keep them possessed. So I was like thinking like, well, 2 kids, the demon could probably like split up itself, and that would be, less difficult, versus 1 priest that has been exorcising demons for a very long time. He's a part of the church. He's a Christian, all of that stuff. So it's like, I would assume it'd take a lot more energy to keep him like subdued.
Which I would understand if he didn't let the demon in.
True.
But he willingly let the demon in.
Yeah, because they're not clear on his intentions on if he actually was wanting the demon to possess him, or if he is like, oh, I'll have the demon possess me, but I'll try and like overpower him with like my goodness.
But I'll keep fighting.
Or whatever.
Yeah. Also, how did a statue in Rome, several hundred miles away, start bleeding and the a-hole cardinal dude get attacked?
Yeah, that was really random. I didn't really understand all of that.
Very convenient. It was very convenient that he got attacked so he could be sent away so they could have the other cardinal dude over them instead.
Yeah. The only thing I can think of is like with the demon possessing the exorcist, it was him literally trying to attack the church. And so it's like, oh, the devil is like getting a part of the church now.
Several hundred miles away.
Yeah.
What
I think
are the
it was
rules
supposed
here?
to be like more like symbolic or like representative than, yeah.
Yeah, what are the rules here?
Yeah.
Because, stick to them. No. No. I did find it interesting that they set it up for sequels.
Yeah, because they're like, oh, we have to go throughout the world, and they're splitting up to like get these like different.
Yeah, they've got 199 other sites to find. So that's cool. Also, it would be interesting because if they did do sequels, I would hope that they would continue to meet other priests that would kind of embody the other 7 sins, because Father Amorth's was pride.
Yeah.
And the other priest dude was lust.
That's very true. Yeah.
So if they meet other priests who embody other sins, like wrath or gluttony or things like that, they have to help them through it.
Yeah, I like that.
While the demon's trying to throw that back in their face.
Like, honestly, it would be, like, an interesting, like, movie series.
Yeah.
As long as they, like, improve how they do the demons and stuff later on.
And the pacing.
Yeah, can't do the... Yeah. They need to improve a few things. But, yeah, I would totally be on board with that.
Yes. For sure. But yeah, it's mainly just like, you had a built-in way to make it a much better demon possession movie. You showed that he can possess multiple people. And there are whole bunches of construction workers there. They could have slowly possessed one of them first, and then slowly spread throughout the different people, and just random things happening, and you're not quite sure what's going on, and then it starts possessing the kid, and that's when they send like the priest, and all the other construction workers who aren't possessed are like, F this and stay away. And they just mass quit. And Father Amorth is sent to investigate what's going on, mainly to get out of the council's way and kind of, go over there for a while they cool off kind of thing. So they had a built-in thing and they didn't use it.
Yep. Yep.
I'm disappointed. But whatever, it's fine. Again, Russell Crowe can only do so much, guys. One good actor cannot necessarily carry the entire show.
He certainly tried, though.
He did.
He tried real hard.
He did an admirable job.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, like the characters themselves of the movie, like, are pretty solid.
They are. Really, they did a decent job.
Yeah, it's really the storyline.
It's just so,
and the pacing that take
like,
away.
Almost, but not quite.
And I guess it's not really. It's more the pacing than anything, because it's like the storyline itself is interesting. It's just how they execute it.
I feel like the storyline was like it just missed the mark.
Yeah,
that the demon abilities and everything were just cut and paste from every other demon movie ever.
Yes.
So,
yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, like overall, I feel like this is potentially a movie that can be skipped. But if you enjoy demon possession movies, I feel like it's a decent one. Like it's got flaws. It's got flaws. But it does bring like the thing about the Spanish Inquisition, freaking Russell Crowe. Like it's got some good things going for it too. But it's just not the bad
not
kind of
strong.
outweighs the good.
I feel like it's worth at least one watch.
Yep.
But there are also better movies.
Yeah.
There are way worse movies too. But it's because it's so similar to every other demon movie ever, it does kind of fade into the background a little bit.
Yeah. And I know for me, we've already reviewed the previous The Exorcist sequel movie.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And
the newest one.
I personally prefer this movie to that one.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
But so if you want context, it's better than that movie.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not like amazing.
Yeah.
So
it doesn't quite scratch that itch.
Yeah. It leaves you wanting.
A little bit. Yeah.
Yep. And sleepy through some points.
If nothing else, watch it for the banter between the two priests.
yes, that one, it is fun.
Oh, God. And when he basically tells the council to shove it.
Yes, yeah.
God. That scene was just, that was beautiful. That was beautiful. I report to my local diocese. My local diocese is Rome. Person I report to is the Pope. So you got a problem with me, talk to my boss.
Yeah.
Yes. Wonderful.
But thank you for joining us today, and let us know what you thought of the movie. If you'd like to recommend a movie, game, or tea, you can leave us a comment or join our Discord server. And if you'd like to keep up to date with our content, you can find our link tree listed below.
And if you'd like to support us monetarily, we have a Teespring and a PayPal, or we have our affiliate link with Republic of Tea available. It does not affect the price of the tea, it just allows us to continue to do what we love. And you can find all of the sites mentioned linked below. But until the next time, guys, stay safe and stay spoopy.
Bye!